All right, Coach, y'all made it to the second round of the LSC tournament, falling to a tough St. Mary's team, but still kept it close in regards to shots taken, just missing short of the net. Talk about your team's performance overall this season and in the tournament.
Oh, for the season, I mean, it's been a great evolution. You know, from where we started it, I think we started 1-6-1, and then I think, not counting the loss in the next tournament, finished undefeated in the last 8. So went from, you know, one of the last place teams in the conference to 3rd place. So a lot of positives. I mean, you know, we knew that this was going to be a young team. We had hoped it wouldn't be quite as painful as it was at the beginning. We were in those games, but just couldn't find ways to get through and get a win. I think if we had, I think we'd be talking about, you know, possibly getting a bid to the NCAA, but just, you know, the whole evolution of the season, it just wasn't enough. And so we're really proud of what we did do. Happy with our performance in the tournament overall. You know, at the conference tournament semifinal, it was just a penalty kick. Thought it was pretty harsh. I mean, Caitlin's all by herself. She goes to clear the ball and hits the ball into her hand accidentally. I think that a lot of times you don't see that called because there's clearly no advantage. There's no way that she's trying to do that intentionally. But that was a huge momentum shift. And I think that, you know, when I got into halftime, I talked to the team and I would just talk to them about, you know, the big thing is that we have 8 starting players that haven't been in that situation before. And, you know, we weren't really thinking about that before because we have so many good players that have returned, but 8 of them were new in the conference tournament. So huge things for us to overcome. And, you know, then just aside from the unfortunate penalty kick, you know, just some, I think, nervous decisions by defenders that allow the other 2 goals. And, you know, unfortunately just couldn't recover from that. And St. Mary's did a great job, but I think if you look at from where we were in the game that we lost 3-1 at their place versus this game, the one that we lost at their place, we were never really in it. We did score a goal in that game, but still. We scored a goal and then came back and scored 30 seconds later. In this game, I think we're in there the whole time. It's just about the quality in the final third to get goals.
And then you mentioned it, a young team this year. Y'all really came and competed this season and, in my opinion, had a stellar year. What's next for this Ramblers team as we look in the future?
Well, we've got a good signing class that we just signed last week, but I think the other part is just getting better. You know, I don't know that we may end up leaving Caitlin Heisley back there in the back. I don't know exactly what will happen, but I think we have a good solid base in our defending. I think where we've got to get a lot better is in midfield and up front in scoring goals.
All right, Coach, just getting back to that semifinal matchup, it's not like the final score obviously didn't reflect how the game actually went, as you were saying. They all actually outshot the opposition in the end. I think, what was it, 19-16 or something like that?
I think that's right, yeah.
Yeah. When you say that y'all have to get better in the lower or in the final third, like, are you talking about just like opportunities like with good looks, or just talk about that for a minute?
I think improving the quality of the passes that give us that look. I think improving the opportunity, the look. I mean, and just finishing. You know, I think if you look back and how many goals we've scored this year, it hasn't been, you know, top 5 performance in the number of goals. And when we look at who's scoring the goals, I think we're a little bit non-typical in that most of our goals are coming from midfielders. It kind of makes sense because we're only playing with 1 forward, as most teams are doing now, but you know, there's a lot of other teams that have forwards with, you know, 10, 12, 14, 15 goals, and if we want to be one of the best teams in the conference, we have to get better in that area. So yeah, just kind of the kind of chances that we're creating, and then the way that we're shooting those chances. I mean, there's a number of those that we're missing the frame, missing the goal completely. And I think that that's, again, if we're hitting it on frame, we give ourselves a chance. If we put it in tough spots for the goalkeeper to save, again, improve our chances there. So just getting that all better. And that's taking the players that we currently have, and then obviously the new ones that we'll be getting in. So we do have one coming in semester. That's in midfield, and so hopefully that'll be the first step in improving that area. And then, you know, obviously continuing to work with the players that we have as returners.
And obviously teams like St. Mary's aren't going anywhere. They're still going to be really good next year. Do you think just the way y'all have come together this year, headed into the offseason with that new recruiting class coming in, do you think that this team is going to be one of the top competitors next season, or is it still going to be a process?
I hope so. You know, we want it to be. You know, DBU is really good, and we're not getting those. You know, we're not getting those D1 transfers that are, you know, having a good role at another, you know, at UNT or SMU or wherever it is that they're coming from. We're not getting that type of transfer. So for us to think that we're just going to, you know, next year with 1 year's experience, we're going to jump up there, I don't know if that's realistic. But what we want to see is continued positive progress, meaning, you know, we want to see a better goal difference. You know, we want to see because this year I think in our first 6-7 games we let in 17 goals. And I think the year before we had let in maybe 12 goals in the entire year, something like that. So we have to continue to work to get better. I don't think that it's going to be just an automatic, you know, hey, now we have the experience, now we're up there. I think it's more of a process than that, and there's some questions there I just can't answer because I don't know exactly. All of our new players coming in, we think they have great potential. Are they going to show that potential the first year? Do they need a year of experience first, you know? So not really sure what to expect. I know what the returners can do. I know we're working hard with them, but for the new players, that's a little bit of a question mark. St. Mary's, like you said, they've done a really good job improving where they were at before, you know, and so how are they going to improve again? You know, how many players are they going to graduate? WT had 5 players that they were missing this year, all international players that had a huge impact for them, and they went from being the number 2 team in the conference or number 3 team in the conference last year and playing in the conference championship to now this year one of the bottom teams in the conference. You just don't know until you get in. So speculating, we hope that there's positive progress. We know we're not going to go to Colorado twice. That'll make it easier for us in the preseason a little bit. So hopefully, again, more steps forward, trying to push for a conference championship.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.